Before I begin, take a moment and imagine something with me. Picture a version of yourself standing 10 years in the future. They're calm, confident, prosperous, not merely in money, but in clarity, direction, and purpose. Now imagine that future you turning around, looking back at you, and saying just one sentence, "I'm grateful you started today," because the truth is simple. The future is always built in the present, always constructed by the quiet decisions you make, long before anyone can see their results. And tonight, I want to speak directly to that builder inside you, the architect that is already designing your tomorrow, whether you know it or not. Most people drift through life like a ship without a rudder, carried by whichever wind happens to blow. They wait for signs, for luck, for opportunities to appear like lightning in the sky. But a builder of the future does not wait for lightning. They create their own weather. They step forward with intention, shaping the path before the world even realizes there is a path to be shaped. And the marvelous thing, the extraordinary thing, is that the moment you decide to take responsibility for the direction of your thoughts, the world begins to rearrange itself around that decision. You become a force instead of an observer. You see, everything begins with the mind, not with circumstances, not with what you have or don't have, not with luck, talent, or background. Your mind is the blueprint room of your life. Every thought is a line drawn. Every belief is a wall built. Every repeated idea is a foundation poured. And like any architect will tell you, a building cannot rise higher than the blueprint allows. So if you wish to architect a greater tomorrow, you must first build a greater blueprint in the quiet workshop of your thoughts. Now, that may sound simple, perhaps even too simple, but the truth is that the world's most successful men and women, those who seem to move with a grace and certainty others only dream of, have simply learned how to harness this truth. They have learned that the mind shapes the man, and that the man shapes his world. They have learned that the environment may influence the seed, but the seed itself determines the fruit. And what you carry within is far more powerful than anything you stand upon. But here's the paradox. Most people live inside. They spend their days reacting to the world as it is, instead of creating the world as it could be. They walk around with a mind full of yesterday, yesterday's disappointments, yesterday's limitations, yesterday's fears, and then wonder why tomorrow looks exactly the same. If your thoughts are the architects of your future, then carrying yesterday's thinking into tomorrow is like drawing the same blueprint over and over again and expecting the building to magically change. So the question becomes, what kind of tomorrow are you building right now? Not next year, not someday, now. Because you are always building. Even indecision is a construction choice. Even procrastination is a brick laid. Even self-doubt is a design flaw placed directly into the foundation. And just as a flawed blueprint leads to a flawed building, a neglected mind leads to a neglected life. But here is the good news. The moment you decide to take the pen back into your own hands, everything begins to change. You can redesign your beliefs. You can redraw your boundaries. You can rebuild your habits. You can reimagine your direction. The brain is not a stone tablet. It is clay constantly remolding itself based on the thoughts you feed it. And that means you are never stuck. Your future is not a prison. It's a project. Think about that for a moment. Your life is a project. And like any worthwhile project, it demands vision, discipline, and persistence. The architect of a towering skyscraper does not act impulsively, nor does he abandon the project the moment a challenge appears. He knows storms will come, setbacks will arise, and the foundations must be strengthened. Yet he keeps the vision in his mind crystal clear, unwavering, until the building stands exactly as he imagined. Your life requires that same calm determination. It requires you to know what you want so clearly that obstacles become mere details rather than discouragements. Most people do not fail because they aim too high and miss. They fail because they aim too low and hit. They settle for the familiar, the comfortable, the certain. But certainty is not progress. Comfort is not destiny. And settling is not living. It is merely surviving. If you want to architect your tomorrow, you must be willing to step beyond the limits of your current thinking. You must dare to imagine something more for yourself, even if no one else can see it yet, especially if no one else can see it yet, because your vision belongs to you first, and the world second. Now, let's talk about something crucial, the invisible forces shaping your results. We are shaped by three things: our thoughts, our environment, and our habits. Change these and you change your life. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Your environment is the construction site. Your habits are the workers that build the structure. If the workers are lazy, the building will be weak. If the construction site is chaotic, the project will be delayed. And if the blueprint is unclear, the entire building will be unstable. This is why most people never rise beyond mediocrity. They never align all three forces. They may think positively, but their habits contradict their goals. They may want improvement, but their environment keeps pulling them back. Or they may work hard, but the blueprint they follow is small, fearful, and inadequate. But when these three forces align, when your thoughts, your environment, and your habits move in the same direction, progress becomes inevitable. Success becomes a natural outcome instead of a distant dream. You begin to feel a quiet certainty, a calm confidence that tells you, yes, this is my path. Yes, this is my design. Yes, I can build this. And you can, because the universe responds to clarity. It responds to intention. It responds to the person who knows where he is going, because so few people do. The man who walks with purpose attracts opportunities the way a magnet attracts metal. People trust him without fully knowing why. Circumstances shift around him. Doors open. Challenges become stepping stones instead of roadblocks. But clarity alone is not enough. You must also take consistent action. A blueprint without labor remains only a dream. Many people dream of a better life, but they stop there. They think thought is enough. But thought is only the beginning. The mind designs, the hands build. And building requires discipline. Discipline is the bridge between the life you imagine and the life you live. It is the quiet force that shapes your destiny long before the world notices your progress. It's waking up when you don't feel like it, working when no one is watching, learning when others are relaxing, planting seeds long before the harvest is expected. Discipline is the architect's greatest ally. Yet discipline is not punishment, it is liberation. Each disciplined act frees you from the prison of randomness. Each step forward frees you from the drift of indecision. And every small, consistent effort compounds over time until the results seem almost magical to those who are not watching the silent work behind the scenes. And that is the beautiful part. You don't have to change your life in one sweeping motion. You change it through small decisions repeated daily. A better thought, a better choice, a better reaction to challenge, a better use of time, a better belief about what is possible. Over weeks, over months, over years, these small improvements accumulate into something extraordinary. And people will look at you and say, he just got lucky. But it wasn't luck, it was design. Now let me remind you of something you may have forgotten. You are capable of far more than you currently believe. You hold within you unused talents, undiscovered strengths, and untapped potential. The greatest tragedies in life are not failures. They are the potentials never explored, the dreams never attempted, the abilities never recognized because someone decided too early that life was already decided. Nothing could be further from the truth. You are the architect. You decide. You design. You build. But to design your tomorrow, you must rise above the noise of today. You must stop letting the trivial control the essential. You must stop letting distractions steal the hours that could build your future. Most people are not defeated by a lack of opportunity. They are defeated by a lack of focus. Focus is the master tool of creation. It sharpens your mind, strengthens your direction, and multiplies your efforts. When you focus deeply, consistently, purposefully, you begin to move with such force that the momentum alone carries you toward your goals. And let us not forget the role of belief. You will never build a life that exceeds your own belief in what you deserve. The architect does not doubt whether the building can stand. He knows it can stand because the blueprint is sound and the foundation is strong. Likewise, you must believe in the stability of your own foundation. Your worth is not determined by opinions, by failures, or by circumstances. Your worth is inherent, and the moment you begin to believe that, your entire life begins to elevate. So ask yourself, what am I designing? What am I building? What kind of future deserves the effort I am capable of giving? Do not aim for a life that merely avoids trouble or survives difficulty. Aim for a life that brings you alive, a life that reflects your highest thoughts, your boldest vision, your deepest potential. Because the tragedy of an unlived life is far greater than any temporary discomfort you might face on the journey. And remember this, your future is not determined by the world. It is determined by the architect within you, the thoughts you choose, the habits you practice, the goals you set, the vision you nurture. These are the materials with which you build your destiny. So stand tall, look ahead, and begin designing a tomorrow worthy of the greatness that resides within you, because your future self is waiting, and they are counting on you to start today. And as you step into this moment, this very moment. You must realize something profoundly empowering. Nothing outside of you has the authority to dictate the scope of your future unless you granted that authority. The architect does not ask permission to imagine. He does not request approval to design. He takes the raw material of possibility and transforms it into structure. And you, too, are doing that right now, whether consciously or unconsciously. The question is whether you will design with intention or drift by default. Think of your mind as a great drafting table. On it lies every experience you've lived, every lesson you've learned, every insight you've gathered, and every dream that has ever stirred your heart. Most people allow that table to gather dust, cluttered with the leftover sketches of old fears and outdated beliefs. But the architect, you must clear that table, sharpen your pencil, and begin again with clarity. Not because you have failed, not because you have fallen short, but because you are wiser now, more aware now, more capable now than you have ever been. A remarkable truth is that each moment of awareness is a moment of power. When you catch yourself thinking small, that is power. When you question your own limitations, that is power. When you pause before reacting and choose your response, that is power. These small moments accumulate into a new identity, someone who no longer operates on impulse but on intention. And intention is the signature of the architect. Consider for a moment how nature builds. A tree does not grow in sudden leaps. It grows cell by cell, ring by ring, season by season. Yet every ring tells a story. Stories of drought, storm, sunlight, survival. And still the tree grows upward, never backward. You are no different. Your life, too, is built in rings. Experiences that shape you, challenges that strengthen you, triumphs that expand you, and every ring becomes part of the structure that supports your future. But here is something most people overlook. Growth is rarely loud. Progress seldom shouts. The most meaningful transformation takes place quietly. Early in the morning when you choose discipline over comfort, late at night when you choose focus over distraction, in the silent moments when you choose belief over doubt. These decisions do not announce themselves, they do not produce instant applause, but they are the silent bricks of the structure you are building. And because the work is silent, many underestimate their progress. They look at their life and say, "I don't see results yet," forgetting that foundations are built underground. No one applauds the digging, the leveling, the reinforcing. But without that groundwork, the building collapses. Do not be discouraged if your progress is not yet visible. If the foundation is forming, the structure will follow. Now let me offer you a thought that has guided countless men and women to remarkable heights. You become what you think about. Not in a mystical way, but in a profoundly practical way. Your dominant thoughts shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your decisions. Your decisions shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. And your results shape your destiny. It all begins with thought, yet most people guard their possessions more carefully than their minds. If a stranger tried to deposit garbage into your living room, you'd resist instantly. But people allow mental garbage, doubt, negativity, fear, criticism into their minds every day without resistance. The architect of tomorrow must guard the mind fiercely. Treat your thoughts like precious materials. Not everything deserves a place in the blueprint. This means you must become deliberately selective about what you allow to influence you, the conversations you engage in, the content you consume, the people you surround yourself with. All of these shape your internal environment, and your internal environment shapes your external results. If you want to build something magnificent, you cannot allow your mind to be furnished with scraps. Seek out ideas that elevate you, examples that inspire you, information that strengthens you. Feed your mind as carefully as a builder selects materials. Because poor materials create weak structures, but excellent materials create legacies. And let me share something else. Great architects think long-term. They don't build for the moment. They build for decades, sometimes centuries. They imagine how their structure will endure storms, how it will support lives that haven't even been born yet. In the same way, you must think beyond the immediate. Do not build your tomorrow on the emotions of today. Build from principle, from vision, from clarity. Ask yourself, what future am I preparing myself for? Not the future that fear imagines, not the future that doubt exaggerates, but the future that aligns with your highest potential. Because when you hold that future clearly in your mind, when you feel it, when you see it, when you believe it, you begin to move toward it in ways both conscious and unconscious. This is not magic, this is alignment. When the mind is clear, the actions follow. When the actions follow, the habits form. When the habits form, the results appear. And once the results appear, confidence grows. And once confidence grows, you become unstoppable. You may not realize this yet, but you are in the process of becoming someone new. The very fact that you are listening, the fact that you care, the fact that you desire a greater tomorrow, this is evolution. You are shedding the old version of yourself, the one who doubted, the one who hesitated, the one who held back. You are becoming a clearer thinker, a stronger builder, a more deliberate architect. But do not expect the world to understand immediately. Do not expect applause for the inner work you are doing. Most people will not see the transformation until it is undeniable. They will not notice the early mornings, the disciplined choices, the quiet reflections, the renewed beliefs. They will only see the building once it stands tall, and they may even call it sudden. But you will know the truth. You will know that the moment you changed your mind, your direction began to change. You will know that the moment you elevated your thoughts, your life began to elevate. You will know that the moment you took responsibility for your future began to take shape. And here is something else to remember. You do not need to know every step of the path to begin the journey. The architect does not wait to know how every bolt will be tightened before drafting the design. He creates the vision first. The details come later. Likewise, create your vision. Begin today. The first step will reveal the second. Clarity increases with movement. And as you move, trust in your capacity to adapt. You are more resilient than you realize, more capable than you have demonstrated, more resourceful than you have yet discovered. Life is not waiting for you to be perfect. It is waiting for you to begin. So stand firm in your intention. Guard your mind, strengthen your habits, shape your environment, and hold the vision of your tomorrow not as a wish, but as a certainty, because the truth is simple, powerful, and liberating. You are the architect of your destiny. The pen is in your hand. The blueprint is in your mind. The materials are in your choices. And the building, your future, begins now.